I made this entire quilt from fabric from Walmart, and I just love how it turned out. And it cost me about $40 for all the supplies, and I had tons of fabric left over, which you will too. I even used fleece from Walmart on the back, and it just turned out so cuddly and wonderful, and that was included in the $40 price tag. So we're gonna make one like this, not exactly these fabrics, but other fabrics. I'm gonna show you how to do it and how to make this really quick and easy and inexpensive quilt, especially if you're on a budget. This pattern is a trip around the world, and I made it using the loop method, but you can cut your pieces and just lay them out and sew them together too. That's absolutely fine. There's pros and cons to both. So let me show you how we're gonna make it. I'll talk about the supplies and all the stuff too that you need. Now, one tip with picking fabric is you wanna stay away from directional fabric. I kind of got into a little bit of trouble. Let me get this quilt, I just dropped it. I got into a little bit of trouble because these cherries were directional, so I did have to take some time to seam rip a little bit more and get them the right way. So if you're going to be using this loop method, you want to keep that in mind and stay away from directional fabrics, because we are twisting and turning and doing all kinds of things, which will make sense as we get started. Because I didn't want to make the exact same quilt, I picked 4 fabrics that I thought went well together and were still springy. Aren't these pretty? So these are 1-yard cuts. These cost, I think, $4.97. It's around $5. So I got 4 yards of fabric for $20. Oh, the backing, by the way, I forget the size. I'll put it up here, but it was in a pre-cut piece, and I'm not sure the price either, but I'll put it up here too. So I did get a lot of the stuff. I guess it was $30, not $40, but whatever, well, you get the point. It wasn't a lot of money, especially when it comes to buying fabric. So to make the quilt top, you're gonna pick 4 fabrics that coordinate well, and I like to have at least one dark fabric, like this one here, because it does give you that trip around the world look, but you can do it however you want. You also can use other fabric. You don't have to use Walmart fabric to make this. This quilt top that we're making today measures 50 by 50. If you're not using a piece of pre-cut fleece, you'll need 3¼ yards of backing for this quilt. And as for binding, it just depends on the method you use, but about ½ yard will do for that too. You also need a really good seam ripper, because what we're gonna do is be making loops and then seam ripping between certain colors. It'll make sense, I promise. So let's get started by pressing all of the fabric, and we're gonna cut 6-inch strips from each of these. So we'll end up with 3 from this, 3 from this, 3 from this, and 3 from this, and you'll get a total of 12 strips. We're gonna have some fun, let's do it. All 4 of the fabrics are cut, 3 strips each, and I did width of fabrics. So they should be around 42 inches long or so, 44, 42 inches the width of fabric, and 6 inches wide. So let's talk about how this quilt is constructed, because that's important for this as we plan the quilt. And I use good old-fashioned graph paper and colored pencils. I also use the computer too, but for this I do love to have it all visual. I like the process of that. So here's my sample that I made for this quilt. And you can see there are 4 blocks, and then we have these sashing strips that give you that look of it going around the world. And I'll show you another picture of that so you can see how it looks and how it's constructed. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are your sashing, and then you have 1 in the middle. And if you don't believe me that you just turn the blocks, which I know it can be very confusing, here's one of the blocks that I made, and you can see we are just going to rotate that block like that, which is going to be important when we talk about the pressing. So hang with me here. I know it sounds confusing, but it really isn't. It's a pretty simple block. You're going to enjoy making it too, because it's like magic. So what we have to do is decide what colors we want where. I already did that, obviously, because I have it all drawn up, but I did play with the different colors and tried some different ways of doing it. I like to have that path right here be the dark, but you don't have to. I'm trying to remember, did I do that? Actually, I didn't. On the cherry quilt, you can see here, the path is the yellow. So you don't have to. It's just what I wanted to do with this. So I'm going to use this darker fabric. And you just play with it. Where do you want things to land? What do you want to have next to each other? So for me, I'm doing it this way. And if you forget how you want to do it, you can always cut up. I thought I did it somewhere. I did. I cut up some small pieces, some 3½ inch squares, just to play with it, to see where I wanted it to lay. This is important because we're going to sew these rows together and we need to have them in the same order throughout. So each of the row sets that we're going to make, we're going to sew the same. Like I said before, we're using the loop method. Now this isn't something I invented. The first time I ever saw it was through Eleanor Burns many years ago, maybe 25 years ago, maybe even more. I've seen it since many times too, but just I want to put that out there that this is not my method. I did not invent this. I also have a coloring sheet that you can download if you want to play with these colors, but you can always use just graph paper and it works too. So you can see here I actually wrote A, B, C, and D. So for me, this is going to be fabric A, fabric B, fabric C, and fabric D. Daisy, like always, says hello. I'm gonna go see what she needs. I'll be right back. And if you want to even take it a step further, you could tape these into your book or keep them by your machine or whatever so you know exactly what they are. You can label them however you want to do it, whatever works for you. So let's talk about putting these together. I'm gonna take one of each of the strips. And I'm going to set the other ones aside. So using my chart as a guide, I'm going to sew these together. So this is my fabric A, fabric B, fabric C, and fabric D, just like that. So I'm going to make strip sets. I'm going to sew these two together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then I'm going to sew these two, and we're just going to make one giant strip set. Very simple using a 1/4 inch. One quick tip before we go on with sewing these strips together is that you want to make sure that you have a really good 1/4 inch seam allowance. With this looping method, that is key because everything's going to line up that way. If you don't, you might want to just lay out the squares instead of using the loop method. That will work too. You don't have to use this system. You can just cut 6-inch squares from your fabrics and lay them out in the grid, sew them together, just using a consistent seam allowance. If you want to check to see if you have a good 1/4 inch seam allowance, if you're not sure, once you sew your units together, you're just going to measure between the sewn pieces, and that should measure 5.5 inches because you have a 1/4 inch on each side. So 5.5 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is 6 inches, which is the size of your original strip. Now on the ends, it wouldn't be that way, right? Because you only have 1/4 inch taken up. But if you measure between them, you will be able to see if you have a good 1/4 inch seam allowance. I hope this helps. If the ends do not line up exactly, don't freak out because some fabric is a little wider or a little skinnier than others. That's okay. So we're just gonna lay them right sides together and sew a 1/4 inch. I'll be right back with that finished. I'll show you the next step, which is when it gets fun. So the entire strip set is done, one of them. We are gonna be doing this with all 3 sets, but I like to just, I'm a little bit conservative with this because I like to just do one to make sure I like it, just in case. I don't wanna do them all and decide I don't like it. Now pressing. With this process, pressing gets a little tricky because I like to press to the side, but it really works best if you press open. However, for this looping step, I do press to the side. Does that make sense? All right, so for this, I press to the side. You can see they're pressed to the side, doesn't matter really which. After that, once we cut these loops, I will be opening them. So I will take you through all of that. Just because everything goes together nicer and you don't have to worry about those sashing between thingies being pressed right. It just makes life easier. If you want to press to the side and have nesting seams, that's totally up to you. You will be repressing and maybe even clipping some seams if you do it that way. Just fair warning. All right, so our next step with this long piece is we're gonna fold it in half, right sides together, and make a tube. And I like to just do it in the air first, make sure everything's even. Yes, it is. Mostly. I'll line that up when we get to the machine. And I'm just gonna sew a 1/4 inch along that. So I made a tube, you can see right here. Everything's gonna be sewn together. And I'm gonna do that and I'll meet you back over at the cutting table and show you the next step. Okay, the tube is sewn together. So you can see that it is a tube. And I pressed it again, made sure it was nice and flat. And this is why I don't open the seams right away, because I do want this to lay nice and flat. So next we're going to take this tube and we're going to cut 6-inch units. Now you can see one edge isn't even. That's to be expected. Okay, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's going to be fine. So the first step I'm going to do is cut off this end, and this end is all even because that's where I started from, that edge. I'm just going to make sure that I get all of that raw edge or selvage. I know I can't say it, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, those edges. And I'm lining everything up. I'm looking at all of the lines on here. And then I'm just going to cut this. Well, I just wiggled it a little. So let's do that again. I'm going to move this over and I'm going to stand up this time. And I'm going to cut that off. And we don't need that. That can be discarded. All right, next I'm going to flip this around. I'm taking this and lining it up at the 6-inch mark. I like to use the edge that has the 1/2 inch on it because I get a better cut, I feel like, if I am measuring off the dotted ends. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can just go over here to the 6-inch mark and cut if you want to, which that's fine. We'll do it that way. I'm just going to cut. So now I have a 6-inch tube, and you can see if I turned it outside right, you can see all the fabrics in a tube like this. I'm going to do that for the entire strip set unit, cutting 6 inches chunks to make these tubes, and I'll meet you back here. So there should be 6 strips or strip sets or loops or whatever you want to call them out of it. You're only going to need 4 for each block. Put 2 aside and take 4 of them, and this is when the fun begins. Pardon the interruption, but I just found another one of these strips. I got 7 of them, so I just wanted to correct that. All right, let's get back to it. Now, like I said, we're making this block here, or this block, okay? And we're going to seam rip between seams. And what we want to do with each row is we want to seam rip between those colors. So this is my dark blue, even though it looks black, it's dark blue, and the green. I want to seam rip between the dark blue and the green. So I'm going to go over here to this, and this is my dark blue and my green, and I'm going to seam rip that seam out. Just like that. So this is your first row. The next one here, I'm going to seam rip between the purple and the dark blue, or dark purple, whatever color that is. So I'm going to seam rip between that light purple and that navy blue. And that's going to go right here. The next one, seam ripping between the purple and the light purple. So the darker purple and the light purple. Right here. You can see how it's making this design. I'm going to kind of have to overlap them just so we have enough room and they stay on camera. All right, the last one for this block, we're going to seam rip between this green and the dark purple. So right here. And that one goes right there. Okay, now because you have these all laid out, and remember what I said about the seams, you're going to want to open those seams because things get twisted around. So I'm going to do that and then sew these rows together just like this. Right sides together. Actually, I'll show you at the design board so you can see it and get a full visualization. Then we're going to do the rest of our units. So here it is. Here's the block. I haven't sewn them together yet. You can see that I opened those seams all the way down. And I know it's a pain. I don't like opening seams either, but it really does make your life easier. Next, we're going to sew these rows together and press it. And again, I press them open just because of those sashing strips that we're going to be putting in them. I'm also going to go ahead and do this exact same thing with my leftover 2 strips that I have for each color. So go ahead and keep sewing, get these together, and I'll meet you back here at the design board, and I'll show you the sashing strips, how to do those, and how to put this whole thing together. It is a very fast project and so much fun. All 4 of the blocks are done, so I'm gonna lay these out. Now my design board isn't quite big enough, so it's gonna hang off the side, but you'll just have to work with me a little bit. All right, so they are exactly the same like we saw before. Oh, and all of those seams are pressed open. Look how pretty. It really does look nice. All right, here we go. I think that's straightish. Okay, so that's one, obviously. Duh. This one, which you can see would be exactly the same. We're just gonna turn it and put it over here. Now I'm leaving space here because I'm gonna show you how we do those sashing pieces. Oh, I'm gonna keep going. I might have to back up the camera a little bit. Let me do that too. There we go. You see a little bit more of my messy room, but that's okay. All right, the next one, we're going to turn again. And then the final one, we're turning yet again. All right, now we need those sashing strips between, and I have, I think 5 of these left, which is what I should have. Now, if you didn't have enough fabric, say when you were cutting it, you didn't get 7 sets, you can always cut more strips. You have it in your yardage. You should have a lot of yardage left, so you can cut an extra one. You should get 7 out of each, but you know, things happen. Now for the sashing strips, you can see we are going to seam rip between the A block, or that dark purple blue thing, and the green. And it's the same for all 4 of them. So it's kind of easier. So I'm just going to take one of these, and I am seam ripping between that dark and that green. And I'm doing this on 4 of them. Now just a tip, if you're a new sewist or new to quilting, you might be tempted to just cut this, but you want that seam allowance. So seam rip it, it's worth it. Okay, now all 4 are done. I'm gonna put them in here, and you'll see how all of a sudden we see that trip around the world come to life. Look at that, looks so good. All right, one piece is missing, right? Right here. And of course, we have 1 set left. I have it somewhere, let me find it. So you have your final unit, and you need just 1 piece, the center. So you're going to take that 1 piece, which happens to be the dark, the A piece, and you're gonna seam rip it out. And it just makes it easy. You could cut a 6-inch square and use that if you want to, but this is fun. It's almost like magic, even though it makes sense. It's just, I love it. It's fun. It's fun to make, easy to make, a really quick quilt, and perfect for beginners too. Okay, so this piece is out, and we're gonna put the final piece in. Again, you need to press it all, of course, but look at how nice. All right, I'm gonna sew this all together. Well, press the sashing strips, sew it all together, and be back for the big reveal. So exciting, I love this. I love how this is turning out. It's so pretty. I love how it turned out. So I just sewed it in 3 rows, that top section, the middle section, and then the bottom section, and that's it. It's finished, at least the quilt top is finished. So here's the other quilt that I made. I love it. It is the exact same pattern design that I put together, and you can see the quilting on the back of this one, and then I did a faux what is this, piping binding on this one. It's so pretty. Now, one thing I want to mention about the Walmart fabric, when I was making this one, the white fabric was super thin, and then this yellow fabric that I used in the piping was also super thin. In fact, you could see through it, but the other ones were really nice and thick. They had a nice heft to them. It was so much fun to make. I had such a good time. I hope you did too. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you take some time to sew, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.